Tonight on SUTV World News, a metro collapse in Mexico leaves at least 25 people dead, and the Canadian government is struggling to convince people to get the COVID vaccine. That and more right now on SUTV World News. Canada's Prime Minister is trying to reassure Canadians about all the approved COVID-19 vaccines as Canada fights a third wave of the virus. It's in response to questions and confusion about the rare risk of blood clots linked to two vaccines approved by the federal government. CBC's David Cochran reports.
The Prime Minister is one of the 1.7 million Canadians to get the AstraZeneca vaccine. He says he doesn't regret it.
It was extremely important to me to be able to protect my loved ones, to protect my family.
Justin Trudeau and his wife, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, got their shots once AstraZeneca was made available to people over 40. The photo op was meant to reassure. It's clear there's more work to do.
And what we've said all along is that the mRNA vaccines are the preferred vaccine.
In large part because of statements like this from the National Advisory Committee on Immunization, which seemingly urges Canadians to wait for Pfizer and Moderna and skip other vaccines if offered.
So individuals need to have an informed choice to be vaccinated with the first vaccine that's available or to wait for an mRNA vaccine.
Some health experts say this is simply prudent advice.
NACI is not overstating the facts. All our vaccines are good vaccines. The reality is that the mRNA vaccines are better vaccines.
Others argue ranking vaccines will increase hesitancy.
If a vaccine is approved by Public Health Canada and approved by Dr. Russell and her team, take that shot. Ignore NACI.
And so a full dose of reassurance about AstraZeneca.
It's been a really, really effective vaccine that saved lives.
And repeated reminders that Health Canada says AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson are both safe and effective.
If you're asked to take your turn, please do so and line up. I think that's the bottom line.
The updated guidance was meant to provide clarity, but has instead caused confusion as the country battles a third wave. The federal government insists the overall approach should not change and that Canadians should still take the first vaccine that's offered to them. David Cochran, CBC News, Ottawa.
Mexico City woke up today in the second of 3 days of mourning after a subway overpass collapsed Monday night. The work to remove debris continues, and rescuers warn that there could be more people still trapped. As of now, the death toll sits at 25. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador assured in his morning press conference that a thorough investigation will be carried out to punish the culprits. Anthony Blinken is working on a bit of fence mending with America's traditional allies after years of friction under the administration. CNN's international diplomatic editor, Nick Robertson, has the story.
Well, the first round of meetings over, Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken holding a joint press conference, almost sort of singing from the same hymn sheet, you could say. Anthony Blinken saying that the way forward is to coordinate, cooperate and collaborate among all the different countries. Share, support and supplement. That was the term the Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab used. They talked about Russia, they talked about Myanmar, they talked about Iran, they talked about Afghanistan. But one of the topics that was strong on the agenda was just how much had really changed in the 2 years since it actually held face-to-face meetings.
It's also fair to say that the world's changed quite a bit in those 2 short years. Our societies, our economies have been shocked and shaken by coronavirus. At the same time, we're responding to a situation where our values are being challenged. The international architecture is, at least in some respects, being weakened.
And those big challenges, China, clearly the big challenge on the agenda. The need for all these partners to hold up the international rules-based order that the world economy is built on at the moment. And Dominic Raab saying, no coincidence that you had nations here like Australia, like India, like South Korea, who all support this notion as well. Secretary of State Blinken laying out the challenges that China poses.
It is not our purpose to try to contain China or to hold China down. What we are trying to do is to uphold the international rules-based order that our countries have invested so much in over so many decades, to the benefit, I would argue, not just of our own citizens, but of people around the world, including, by the way, China.
2 days more meetings to go. COVID, building back better economies, greener economies. That's going to be big on the agenda. Climate change too. Nick Robertson, CNN, London.
Visitors to the Colosseum in Rome will soon get to see the structure as it once was in ancient times. Italy's culture ministry is adding a new floor to the arena. The floor was removed in the 19th century by architects to get a view of the passageways underneath. Doing so revealed a network of hatches, hoists, and machinery used to bring men and animals up to the floor of the nearly 2,000-year-old Colosseum. The $22 million sustainable construction project will largely restore the structure to its previous condition and allow those ancient machines to work once again. Some of the slats of wood used in the new floor will rotate to allow light to pass to the underground portions. The new stage will be used to host cultural events. The project will also install a system to collect rainwater used to supply the bathrooms in the monument. Construction is scheduled to be completed in 2023. That's it for SUTV World News. I'm Patrick Ramsdale. Be sure to follow us on all our social media at SUTV News and check out our website at sutvnews.org. We're back with ship news and more tomorrow. Until then, good night.